Who is with Vinny Fiorenza? There's a lot he doesn't know. There's a lot he wants to know. This is a podcast where he tries to learn from people who know things he doesn't. He'll be focusing on people from the worlds of business, entertainment, and the arts. His guests are people he finds fascinating and that he believes will bring value to others. Join him on the journey on finding out who is.
Who is Francesco D'Onofrio? Francesco D'Onofrio is such a great guy, good friend, someone I grew up with back in Staten Island, and then I kind of had to do the right thing and bring him on as the first guest on the show. We get into some funny topics like his competitive Rubik's Cube competitions, his time on The Sopranos, what's it like being a New Yorker in LA, and his most recent feature film, Love and Love Not. So join me today in learning about who is Francesco D'Onofrio. All right, let's get this started.
Yes, sir.
It only plays right that I'm going to have Francesco as my first guest. And Fran, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
My name is Francesco D'Onofrio. I'm an Italian-American from Staten Island, New York.
There we go.
Yep.
Right with the Italian.
Mm-hmm. Migrated to Los Angeles. I studied film and television in school back in Queens, New York. Worked at ABC Studios for a year. Came out here. Been pursuing acting ever since. Nice. And yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself, Vincent.
Oh yeah, that's how we're doing it.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Well, I've been fortunate enough to know Fran for a real long time. This show's about him. Who cares about me? We'll get to know me over these episodes. But to start this off, how would you describe yourself as a child, and what were some unique interests and hobbies? And you could take that as however you want, high school, younger, whatever, anything in between.
Yeah, I was always, I was pretty ambitious as a kid. I always liked, my parents would say I had like a one-track mind where I'd zone in on something for a while, whether it was like learning guitar one week or picked up Rubik's Cubes the next week, and I dive very hard into things. I want to be great at everything I do. And I kind of become like semi-obsessed for a little bit until I am like, just the best at it. Rubik's Cubes, for example.
Yeah, totally.
It was like seventh grade, one kid brings a Rubik's Cube into lunch, and I see him solve this Rubik's Cube. So I'm like, if he could do it, I could do it. Bought a cube that day. Huh. Within 3 or 4 days, I was like doing it by myself. Maybe less than 2 weeks, I was going head-to-head with him at the lunch table. I was like, me, you, now. You know, shuffle each other's cubes, and I was demolishing him. And then... Of course, I take things to the extreme, so I was doing national Rubik's Cube competitions.
Oh, my God. But why? Where was that?
Most notable one. I mean, one day it was La Quinta Inn and Suites at one point, like in upstate New York, and then one was at Princeton University. Like, they hosted
where that would go on.
Yeah, and I had like a YouTube channel. I was posting YouTube videos, like doing my Rubik's Cube stuff, and there was this Rubik's Cube community, and I met people at the tournaments that, like, we knew of each other from online. It was, like, funny, like... how that worked, but yeah. That's
great. So you made Rubik's Cube videos online. Did that in any way influence you to become an actor?
That particularly, I would say no. Like, that probably didn't have anything to do with it.
So how early on did you know you wanted to be an actor?
It's funny, like, if you look in my my 5th grade yearbook, there's a picture of little me, and like one of the quotes they ask you is, one day I want to be, and in my thing it says, want to be an actor.
Oh my God.
I hadn't done any real acting, but my parents got me like a manager, and I worked background jobs on like Law and Order. I was a stand-in on Music and Lyrics.
That's great.
Sopranos.
Yeah, there
I was
we go.
on the set of The Sopranos.
Yeah.
Ring bearer at the wedding, and I got to meet the whole cast, so I kind of got the awe of being on set pretty early.
Do you remember that?
Sopranos, I remember, and the Law and Order thing I remember too, because I was the only kid who could do the monkey bars.
Of course, figures. Yeah.
Right, because I just gotta try to outshine the people around me, and because of that reason, I was like right in the scene. Like, whoever's speaking ties my shoe, then I go across the monkey bars, and then the scene goes on.
I love that.
Then I remember being on the set of The Sopranos because I knew the show was kind of a big deal. I don't understand the scope of it, like the magnitude, until I was a little older and I watched the show for myself. But I just knew it was kind of a cool thing.
What'd you think of the show?
When I watched it for the first time, loved it. Loved it. And even so,
How long ago was that?
When I first watched it, I was still too young, I think, to appreciate it, right? Because I didn't find it, like, not funny, but like I didn't see the comedy in it also with the seriousness of it. and I just recently rewatched it.
Yeah, I heard about
And
that.
yeah. I'm sure you did. And rewatching it, you kind of just get it like a little more. Like you're older, you understand it more,
Yeah.
and I find it hysterical too. The way these
Oh my
guys are,
God.
how they interact
Of
with each
course.
other. Best thing ever.
Yeah, I feel like we're on an episode now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
we
sure.
could be minus their business dealings and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of how
Clean.
we interact with each
It's
other,
a
which is
clean,
great.
clean show, clean family show.
Family show.
Yeah, 100%. With the acting, like what after you did all that extra stuff, like what was next? Like what was some things in your life you like might have participated in like that?
I guess there was a big gap where there was really not much at all. And then when I was in high school, my school did something called Sing Production. So it's like a student-run, written, directed show, and all the different grades make their own show. They compete at the
that's
end.
great.
Yeah, and there's like a judge panel, and then one grade wins, like for the whole thing. Sophomore year, I was pulling curtains, watching the show from there, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I could do what they're doing on stage here. Next year, I auditioned, got the lead role. And
I feel like similar story all the way through.
Yeah, and the audition for that was funny because you just go up on stage, you pick a song to sing, you sing it a cappella in an empty auditorium, so my
What
little
was your
voice
song?
wasn't
Yeah,
getting
what was your
far.
song?
Don't Stop Believing by Journey. That was my song choice.
You giving us a sample?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But senior year, I picked the same song, sang it again, got the lead role again.
Wow, back to back.
Yeah.
Well, with your family and where you come from, I know we're both from Staten Island, and actually you're both originally from Brooklyn. But was there any influence from your family, like to join the industry or become like a part of this world?
Interesting. Like my father, when he was growing up, he was like with Wilhelmina models, and he used to like run, like walk in fashion shows. My father's a very handsome guy. He's like
runs in
John
the family.
Travolta-esque back in the day, you know.
Love that, like 86th Street, like doing his thing.
Oh yeah, he's probably
Love
walking
that.
with the 2 slices of pizza
Yeah,
on top
there
of
you
each
go.
other, like to start a Saturday
Bada
Night
bang.
Fever. That was like his life, pretty much. Did they directly influence me? I mean, when you think about it, I probably didn't ask to get a manager, like a child talent
right.
manager
So,
growing up.
you know, definitely
so I think,
hadn't-
they put me into it. Maybe it was the head of hair I had. You know, the mushroom cut was huge at the time.
Yeah, I had one too. When I was
I had like
little
an
kid.
immaculate one, you know, not an ounce of forehead to be seen.
Of course.
So, yeah, they got me involved with that. I did some other stuff like children's textbook, like a science textbook. So I was like,
There you go. We gotta get that.
I know, you know
We
what?
got-
We've
you
been
got the-
trying forever. Can't
Oh,
find the
no
book.
way.
Yeah, we just never got the name of the book. We never like. It would
That's
be a very
great.
hard find nowadays.
So do you remember what you were doing? Like, what was like your
I was like
science
blowing
thing?
bubbles filled with smoke, like doing some kind of like just funky stuff, you know. It was-
I don't think much has changed.
No.
Bubbles with smoke.
No,
You're still
no.
doing that.
some things never change, you know. You throw that in that
That's great.
category.
So you're an actor now. You go on auditions. You know, both in person and through online or whatever. Like, how is the audition process? Like, what is that like? And like, I don't know. How do you get the auditions? Give the audience a little bit of understanding about that.
Well, so when I first came to LA, I was submitting myself for auditions. It was mainly for student film, short film projects, things like that, just to build up footage. And all the auditions were in person, even for like a student film. I would go to the campus, they'd have a room rented out, we'd do it like that. Things have kind of since changed. Now I'm represented, I have an agent and a manager. They
There you
submit me
go.
for things, and after COVID happened, auditions completely changed.
Yeah.
Everything, for the most part
Whole new
nowadays,
world.
it's all self-tapes. So you tape it yourself, you send it in, which I kind of grown to like self-tapes. It gives me the time to kind of work on it and
Yeah.
watch myself back, see the things I like or think I could do better between takes, and then fix that for takes going forward.
When you do those multiple takes, you feel like usually you get them earlier on, or is it sometimes further into it? Like, what's been your experience with all that? Because I hear things, but like, you know,
Majority of the time for me, it's like in the last 3. You know what I
the
mean?
last 3 out of what?
Depending, right? So I never want to like beat a dead horse. Like I don't want to have a 1 scene audition and do 30 takes, because beyond
Yeah,
that,
of course.
for me to like go through each one, and the differences are sometimes so minute. So to like be so nitpicky between little things like, oh, I like how I said that line there, but I like it better in this one. I don't want to like stress myself out and take hours just to pick one.
Yeah.
So I like to try to not do too many. Like I'll do 3, I'll watch them. If they're not great, I'll just delete them right then, work on the next ones, and kind of do the editing process early in that way. But I do find that for me, the breakthroughs come at the end.
Nice.
Yeah, after
Cool.
hammering it away a little bit, and
Nice.
that's why I've grown to like the self tapes. I could work
Yeah.
on it. Whereas I think the pressure of being in the room gets you more on point to start. Whereas at the beginning, I'll be like, all right, let's just throw one out there. Let's see what it looks like, and then I fine tune it. Whereas I do more of the fine tuning prior if it's in the room.
Knowing you as a performer, you're definitely good under pressure. So it's
Well, that would, I think, force me to be better under pressure if I had I knew the one take to nail it. So it's kind of, two sides of the same coin.
What's it like going about getting like readers for it? Is it difficult? Or
I'm very blessed to have many good friends, and
I've helped you out with a couple.
plenty. You help me out with plenty, and whether I got to drag somebody else out of bed to help me or like be like, hey, I'll drive to you and I'll bring my setup. Like, I just need somebody to help me get this done because I like to get them in as soon as I possibly can.
100%.
And I always have to kind of work that around work. So whenever I can do it, I'm lucky enough to have friends that help me.
Nice. You mentioned the setup. What's the setup like?
Pretty simple. It's I have like this kind of background that folds out. It's got blue on one side, gray on the other. Put that on a stand, and then I use like a ring light that holds my phone. Thankfully, iPhones are so good now. I don't need any kind of special camera. Cell phone, ring light, backdrop.
Yeah, we know me. We know me in tech, man.
Yeah.
I'm a disaster.
I mean, nowadays, it's so much to keep up with. Who could even have the time?
I figure out ways to make things simple. I figure out ways to make things very difficult. Thank God we have John helping us out.
John's the best.
My main producer, big guy over there.
We need artistic pros around us to help us with the things
big
that we
time.
can't do.
Thank you, Vinny.
Of course. Do you have any specific influences as an actor, like meaning actors or actresses that really push you to do what you're doing?
To find one super specific to me, I kind of, more so I would say someone like a Leonardo DiCaprio, who is so meticulous about how he picks his roles and has been his entire career. Like, I heard him talk about it on an interview once that he got an offer for a Disney movie when he was young, 15 years old. That was for like a lot of money at the time. And he wasn't Leonardo DiCaprio yet. This was even before like Gilbert's Grape.
No.
He turned down that movie because he had this other project that he's like, that he didn't get yet by any means. He might not have even auditioned yet, but he's like, I'm going to hold out on this and try to get like
15
this
years
part.
old, man.
Yeah. And I think that wound up being This Boy's Life with Robert De Niro. I'm pretty sure that's what the film, and you're talking about, he's a young boy there making a big boy decision that essentially paved the way for the rest of his career. And you'd be hard pressed to find a bad movie in his lineup, and I just admire that kind of, those kind of creative choices that he's made throughout his career.
Yeah.
So I aspire to be that creatively selective with the things I put out there in the world, because film is forever, and anything you do will be out there forever. So
true, including this.
yeah. I don't know.
But yeah, can't go wrong with Leo. I mean, almost every movie he did, but maybe every movie he did, he's absolutely phenomenal.
No, he's phenomenal. Even if the movie might not be your favorite, like his performance in it is always is top notch.
Yeah, he's the real deal, and then some. But to change the subject a little bit, when you first came out to LA from New York, what was that experience like? Like what I don't know, what was it like when you got here, and like how you felt?
It was an interesting one. I mean, when I first got here, it's just exciting and overwhelming all at the same time. And I had came to LA twice before, once with my family when I was younger, and then for spring break during college one year, me and my friends came out to LA for like 4 or 5 days.
That's great.
And I just kind of got this feeling driving through LA where I was like, this is where I need to be. You know what I mean? Like, it was kind of like intoxicating. And I'm packing up my house in college. One of my closest friends ever calls me up. He's like, hey, I know you always wanted to move to LA. I think I'm going this summer. Do you want to go? I said, yes. Like, I didn't even take a second thing. I was like, yes. When are we going? And, how much time do I have to prep and get ready? And then I basically was couch crashing for about a year. So luckily I didn't have to pay rent right away. It kind of gave me some time to,
I know that story.
to get some money in pocket. Because you come out with a little nest egg that goes away pretty quick. Yeah. Especially when you have to, furnish places and do all these things, and the money disappears pretty fast.
Come out here with $1 and a dream.
Yeah.
Hoping for the best. When did you come out here?
2017, July.
Nice,
July 2nd, 2017.
Never forget that date.
Never forget the date. You can't.
No,
You know,
I got November 15th, 2019.
There you go. How could you forget it? You make such a big change in your life, kind of, and this, you know, that's not something you forget.
Yeah, first time leaving the family for an extended period of time.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about it, when say you go home to visit family, or just being here in general, what are the major differences between LA and New York?
The most major would be like the people and the weather.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Which one you want first?
I don't know.
The weather here is amazing. I've grown very spoiled to the point where I go home 2 weeks for Christmas in New York, and I'm like, that's about enough for me. You know, there's snow on the ground, making things inconvenient, and obviously the type of people are different. Like the way people are with each other. I feel like people are still kind of more social in New York. Here, people are more about themselves. They feel like they know enough people. They don't need to make friends. Luckily, I came with great friends, and I've been blessed to make some new ones along the way as well. But just kind of the demeanor of people, and you know, like New Yorkers say what's on their mind.
Yeah, we're definitely good for that.
Good for that, but that's honest, you know, and it's good to be honest. And
it's definitely helpful.
Yeah, and I've grown to realize about myself I'm a very honest person. I'm maybe not brutally honest, you know,
like me.
Yeah, which is it's good to be that too. But I'll filter certain things for the sake of also being a kind person. But I noticed that's probably the main difference between LA. LA people don't say what's on their mind.
Yeah.
What comes out of here is different than what's going on up here.
Yeah, and that could hurt. That could hurt or help anyone depending on the scenario.
Yeah.
So, do you think being from New York, like, do you have like any form of an advantage or disadvantage being out here?
I think for sure.
I feel
very blessed to be from New York.
Got it, cool.
I do feel it gives you an edge, kind of, in every facet of life. Just kind of the way you think, the way you move, the way you operate entirely. I feel like it is a different mindset. And
you have any like examples? Give me some.
We're less relaxed, you know. We're less relaxed. We want to get to the bottom of things. Like we're just kind of like, you know, we don't have time to waste time, and we're kind of about our business, you know, and we like to have fun too. Like, you know, no one's saying you can't kick up your feet every once in a while, but just the overall just tempo and pace of how we operate and the way we think is just a lot different in a lot of ways, and I think it's advantageous for sure.
Nice. Yeah, no, I completely agree. Feel exactly the same way. I'm blessed to be from New York.
Yeah.
I'm blessed to use that out here because it's done wonders for us.
You notice, I'm sure, in business too, you're in entertainment and you're heavily involved in the behind the camera side of it. So, I mean, obviously you have go-getters in that industry regardless, so you meet probably a different echelon of people entirely. But I'm sure you feel that difference too in yourself and the way you work. Yeah, because your work ethic is just like out of this world, and I'm sure people just feel that. You know?
Yeah, no, the New York, for at least the two of us and majority of people we're out here with, it oozes out, and people are very attracted to that. So pretty grateful for that.
We never have to tell people we're from New York.
No, they ask what part of New York you're from.
Like, where you from on the East Coast? And then you'd be like, New York. They'd be like, I knew it. Like, then why didn't you say it?
No. I guess I have a weird accent because people, or I just speak very quickly or whatever, and they're like, oh, you're from Boston? I was like, no, definitely not. No, I'm definitely New York, but it's all right.
But they're close enough. We understand the differences.
Can't excuse their naivety, you know. I can excuse their naivety.
Well, us being from there, we hear the different nuances in the accents. Like, certain things stay the same, but some of the words are dead giveaways. Like, the difference between New York and a Boston accent are like, they're dead giveaways to us, but somebody to the untrained ear, they might not pick it up as quick.
Untrained, Let's start something with that. But so you were here throughout the pandemic. How was that for you? Like, give me the scoop. Even though I spent a lot of it with you.
Life wasn't rough.
Nah.
Life was not rough. I like I said again, I was very blessed. I lived with great friends. Like, we had a place together. We lived in a house. We had a nice backyard with things to do in it, and it was like we all kind of kicked our feet up, took a load off. There was not, especially me as an actor, there was like nothing to do, you know. And I wish I flexed my creative side a little more. I wish I sat down and forced myself to write a little more. You know, because I hit roadblocks with the writing. I have like chronic writer's block, and even though I have ideas that are 90% flushed out, I kind of hit a block in the story for where I need to go. I wish I like spent more time during the pandemic being more creative in that way. But me and my friends, like, we had a pretty good time during it all, and we hung out, and we had, you know, close friends over. Everyone got COVID tested first.
Yes,
but we had close friends over, and we just, you know, we had a good time. We chilled, movie nights, and
we had fun. I was with him a lot at that time. But
you did interesting things during the pandemic, right? You and some friends, you started like charities. You were help supplying.
We
you were supplying masks to nurses because there was a mask shortage. Tell us a little bit about that.
Fill everyone in. We raised $30K to give back. We got masks during April of 2020, and we donated the $30,000 out to hospitals in Staten Island and throughout New York City. What do we even call? Oh, Project Protect. I couldn't think of it. Got T-shirts and everything. We had fun.
Protect.
It was good. Happy we did that and able to give back a little bit. But yeah, we were all a part of that. Actually, most of the team was actually in LA giving back to all of our people in New York. Fortunate enough to have, and very thankful for all the nurses and, you know, all the EMT, first responders during that time. You know, still thankful for them.
Yeah, that was beautiful what you guys did.
Yeah, no, it was cool. But yeah. Speaking of that, something you did during the pandemic that was pretty impressive was you were the lead in a film called Love and Love Not, which obviously had a major part in as well as the producer. But what was that like? Like, especially like going from what you're saying, like just having fun, whatever, chilling with your friends, and then going to the opposite of that, and, you know, going as the lead actor in a film. What was it like getting that role? Doing that role, being a part of the project in general?
I was super excited when that, when that project came into my life. We did a little test shoot prior, and then when the director, Anthony Cali, told me that, you know, he was making me the lead in the movie, could not be more ecstatic. And to just have, like, I had plenty of time to just hone in and really just, like, put in all work on my own time, and to be able to be working when a lot of the industry was an absolute blessing. And to go from, at that point, I'd only done like short projects, little, you know, independent made ones.
It's a big shift.
Big jump, but I, you know, felt ready to do it and just had the most incredible experience doing so as well. Nice. And that was just a huge blessing, especially like you said, coming out of a huge lull where there was nothing to even do as an actor, really. There was no auditions happening. Like, it was just very difficult to get anything made with COVID restrictions and all these things. So when that project came along, it was timing couldn't be better, and it was just beautiful all around. It was amazing.
Yeah, so we're happy to be on the other side of it, and now it's out and available for everyone.
The film is out.
Yeah,
the film is out there.
How has that experience been like since the film was, I guess, the end of principal photography up until now? Like, what's it been like since? Like, how do you feel? Like, you know, momentum, whatever.
Yeah, well, it was great. It was cool to see all the different stages the film went through. You know, because I, being closely involved with directors, producers on the project, I was able to see like the first rough cut of the film, and I saw it too, and I was like, oh my god, this is great. Knowing it was super unpolished at the time, but just to see how it evolved, that was pre-music, coloring, anything, just cutting together the clips. So to see where the project came from the end of shooting to the final product was amazing. To see a movie at that close level, me, you know, involved heavily in the movie, and it was it was amazing. And then to have it finally get out there was just incredible.
What about like the festival stuff? Did you like you obviously there was a lot of festival stuff. Did you go to the events, and like, did you know, I know you went to the events, but like tell us about the experience.
So we did pretty well at a lot of like the lower level festivals, like smaller ones. And one that was amazing was the Manhattan Film Festival, because we had a live screening. A lot of the festivals were doing like online things still at the time due to COVID and not wanting to gather, you know, a bunch of people in a large space. So the Manhattan Film Festival was doing a live screening in Manhattan, and that's where all my family still resides. A lot of us involved in the movie. All of our family's still out there. So to be able to tell everybody, hey, the movie is premiering on the big screen. I got everyone tickets for them, and we kind of, you know, had a whole event about it. We went out to eat before. That was just very, very special, man, to you know.
It was special. It was special for me too, like
Yeah.
being there, being able to give that platform to not only your family but my family as well.
Yeah.
And it was really cool to experience that, and even just see you and Anthony do your thing, like whatever. We were able to just all be in the same place and celebrate together. Our great experience.
Yeah. I mean, being in LA a while, right?
Yeah.
Going for a career in acting, like you don't always see the fruits of your labor.
Yeah.
You know, like these things take time, and
course.
for my journey is not the one of overnight success. So to finally, like my parents I've been out there years at this point. So to bring my parents to a big screen premiere of something that you know I'm the lead role in, it was just it was super special.
Cool, man. I'm happy to be able to share that with you, and yeah, I'm happy you feel the way that you do. It's pretty phenomenal. We're gonna take a little shift. I'm gonna do like a couple, like, you know, quicker questions if you need a refill. I don't know. You
I guess I could do that.
Looking like a little
Close to the end.
looking a little light.
Final lap.
Yeah, for sure, most definitely. Yeah, I'm happy with doing this. It's real nice.
I
you
am
know?
too. This is nice.
Yeah, it's my first episode with
First episode of many. Thank you for having me on as the first guest. I'm honored.
Yeah,
you know?
no, of course. I wouldn't have had it any other way. But so I'm gonna get to these kind of quicker questions.
Sure.
So if you were to have someone play you in a movie eventually, when they make the Francesco D'Onofrio biopic, who'd you want it to be? And this doesn't have to be. This could be, you know, older, younger, whatever. Like, I don't know. However you determine it.
Got it. If I had someone to play me, it doesn't have to be age related whatsoever.
Nah. And why?
That's a good question. I know this is a quick round of questions, but I'm going to need a couple seconds to think about this one. Who would play me in a movie?
You got this.
I know. This is a tough one. I would say like a John Bernthal type of actor.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
I can see it too.
Yeah, I feel like he's very versatile. He's super talented.
Yeah.
Not that I'm saying it takes talent to mirror what my life
I
has
don't
been.
know. I think that's.
But no, I think he's just that type of guy where he's, you know, he seems like a great guy, outside of outside of film, and he's got a very diverse and you know, long career that has made me admire him very much. I think he would be a prime candidate.
Nice, prime candidate. We
Yeah.
love John Bernthal. So, any superpower? What would you pick? Tell me one. Just one.
Flying.
Nice, cool. Good to know.
Yeah.
You have a favorite holiday? Why? Like, what's your favorite holiday and why?
Growing up, it was always Christmas.
Okay.
Always loved Christmas. I felt there was magic around Christmas.
Nice.
You know, I
Same.
kind of felt that awe and wonder, especially Christmas in New York. As
Yeah.
cliche as it sounds, Christmas
true.
in New York is magical.
Yeah.
You know.
Christmas Eve because
Yeah.
I'm fat and love 7 fishes.
Well, that's part of it. 'Cause it's got Christmas in the name, and that's, you know, stuffed mushrooms, the whole
there you go, the whole nine.
spread. Good, yeah.
No, I
But,
love
yeah.
that. So,
Christmas.
you have a favorite drink or cocktail?
I like gin. As of the last couple of years, huge into the gin. My main drink of choice is a gin martini, splash dirty, dry,
There we go.
shaken, couple olives.
What about coffee? I know you like if you go to a Starbucks. What's your? So I know this guy's got a crazy order. Tell them
So
your
my
order.
cold beverage.
So when you know what to bring him upon arrival next time.
Yeah, so it used to be cold brew, 1 or 2 shots of espresso, vanilla sweet cream cold foam, dash of cinnamon on top. But that drink, due to inflation, has become about $8.
Wow.
So I spun it up a little bit.
Let's
Now
hear
I do
it.
4 shots of espresso over ice with the cold foam, dash of cinnamon, like $4.50.
Wow.
And it's
take notes.
relatively the same. Tastes
Nice.
the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. So, what's it called? This was great. I want to just hear from you. What do you have planned next? Give the audience a little idea of what you got going on in the near future.
So this month I recently signed with a new management company. Very
Congrats.
excited about it. Thank you.
Super cool.
Yeah, and to start this year, had a nice start to the year with that new signing, and also I booked my first television role.
There we go. Congrats.
Thank you. Yeah, co-star role. It's going to be Law and Order, Organized Crime.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm just in one scene. Gio Amato, character name, and
That's great.
Yeah, so very excited to see that. It hasn't aired yet, but once it comes out, super excited to see myself on the small screen for the first time.
Yeah.
Excitingly enough, it's a character that based on my reading of the script, it could come back around. Which, not to hopefully get ahead of myself, but I think that would be pretty cool if they decide to add an extra storyline for this character going forward. That would be very nice. But yeah, just auditioning and getting ready for the next project.
Cool. What's called? That's I'm excited for you, and I can't wait to watch that episode of Law and Order.
Yeah.
So where could people find you? And because I'm gonna give everyone the details so they could reach out if they, want to.
Yeah. I'm on Instagram as Fran D'Onofrio, at Fran D'Onofrio. Same thing on Twitter. My management company is Bohemia Group. My agency is Affinity Artists. All contact info would be on IMDb if anybody needs to reach out. And that's pretty much how you can get a hold of me.
Cool. What's called? I'm really grateful you were able to do this with us.
Yeah, I'm happy we did this. This was fun.
Cheers.
Cheers. Salud.
Thanks for everything.
Chandani.
Chandani.